Ho, 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 YouTube, and welcome to our Christmas episode for our Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video today. We did get our Christmas banner today, along with our Christmas event. We're going to go over Lucas and Levinson and show you guys why I think they're a Christmas miracle. It's a surprise, because they're both extremely good when I thought they wouldn't be as great as they are. So let's get into it. So first up, we have our boy Lucas, and okay, listen, I have wrecked on Lucas on my stream and in that last video because he's not very Christmas to me. He's just a big robot, mech-looking dude, kind of basic-looking to me, honestly, but I know a lot of people out there actually enjoy his, the way he looks, and so maybe he's Christmas-like in some of the abilities that he does. We'll have to wait and see when they're in-game, but Lucas is going to be an amazing support extraordinaire magic cover tank. He's absolutely insane. Looking at his TMR, we had Pride 1. Gonna give you guys defense 30, spirit 70 on a shield, along with a lot of different elemental coverage. This is gonna be great for you guys out there, again, when you're fighting these trials, when you need this elemental coverage. I actually want to pick one up myself because I just want to have it in my back pocket for the people out there that can put shields on to give them a big spirit stat boost, along with, not the most in the world, but pretty big, along with a hefty amount of fire, lightning, or dark resist would be great. Looking at his STMR, we have Fortified Cuirass, Defense 70, Spirit 102, and then we have Fire, Lightning, and Dark Resist up by 30%. Again, these two items are really great. When it comes to tank items, they're really good because they can pretty much go on anyone that can put them on, right? Anybody that can put this shield on, anybody can put this, heavy armor on. It's going to be great because it gives them so much stat buffs, even if it comes to a support unit. A damage dealer. If you need somebody to survive, this has a lot more uses than just being like maybe on an attack unit. This can go on anybody that has this equipment options and still be a viable option for you. So that's something to make sure you remember. Both his TMR and STMR, while not outstanding, meta breaking, things like that, they have a lot of uses and can go on a lot of different units and help them, survive, because in this game it's becoming more survive and do your damage than just glass cannon, go in there and blow stuff up, because you can't do it anymore in a lot of cases. Moving on down, first thing I want to spot, and you guys can probably see, is that we do have a W cast on our magic cover tank here, which is absolutely incredible. There are a lot of the support esque type of abilities that Lucas is going to be able to cast twice in a turn, and one of the biggest draws to Lucas is he is an imbue machine. As a robot. Anyway, so he's going to be able to put fire, ice, or wind on himself and anybody else that he wants to for 3 turns to everybody else and 5 turns to himself. He also can imperil. He also can break. He can magic cover. He has the mitigation. Honestly, this guy kind of reminds me of Sylvie in a lot of ways with everything he can do. So first up, if you guys do want to do your breaks, they're only going to be 55% on these little abilities here, but they can be W cast. And then also, they have the other side of it being buffed on everybody by 120%. Now, I know a lot of people out there already have, the coverage of their buffer, but this magic cover tank can do both. Now, on the first turn, you're probably going to need a magic cover, so the buffing may take a second step, but it's there as an option along with the breaking. We do have a 100% provoke that comes in along with added benefits. We have fire, lightning, wind, and dark resist going up by 70%, ice, water, earth, and light resist 30% to himself, and then he actually puts a general mitigation up of 35% on himself when he casts this. So really, really great there. Really great provoke. Has the ability Noble Sacrifice, revive all allies except himself. They puts them all up to 100%, and then he offs himself. He takes himself down, blows himself up in a big explosion there. But that is an uh-oh button right there. I love when my tanks, I normally put Phoenix on my tanks because I need that uh-oh button. Everybody died, even my healer, my re-raiser, my razor. Now, you have that uh-oh button in this Noble Sacrifice, which I think will come in handy a lot more times than you would actually think it would, along with having dual white magic. Look at this. Also has dual white magic, and the white magic he has access to Curaga, Refresh, Sunaga, Full Life, and Dispelga. These are all great options and can be cast twice in a turn. So if you need 2 people go down and you just want to re-raise, Full Life, can do it within the kit. And that's on top of the tanky capabilities this unit has. Absolutely outstanding. We do have an AoE magic cover ability here that you guys can use. And then also puts up defense and spirit on himself by 150%, which is absolutely great. protecting everybody on top of getting a buff to yourself, that's great. I mean, this is just added benefits on top of benefits. We do have an auto revive that he can put on himself in Absolution. Cannot be W cast, neither can the cover, but maybe you cast this and then you do Noble Sacrifice. Or, you know, if you have a re-raise on and use Noble Sacrifice, everybody comes back to life, you come back to life, no harm, no foul here. You're going to get resistance to breaks, remove all debuffs from caster, cure all status elements. This is a great move to use in the downtime when you want to be really just wipe yourself clean and have a revive going on. The next thing I want to point out is, remember when Sylvie's awesome because Sylvie can do both. I mean, Sylvie can do a lot of things, but Sylvie can do both magic mitigation and physical mitigation 25%. Well, this guy can also do that, also W cast it, and get a little bit of other added benefits on top of that. If you want to take magic mitigation, less damage 25%, you get an HP barrier 500 for everybody. If you want to put up their LB fill rate by 100%, 150%, you're also getting that physical damage 25%. So you see how great that is. Like, he's just working so many different angles, like imbuing, general mitigation, high magic mitigation, we'll get into a minute, a little bit of damage, MP refreshing while all tanking. Absolutely stellar unit. Moving down into the 7-star, well, we want to talk about the MP recovery right here. 45 to all allies, absolute 0 chaining family. So I think it's going to be a little rough to be able to chain up with Lucas, but that doesn't matter. You're really using this for the MP recovery of 45 to all allies. Can be W casted while you're doing some of those other great support abilities. Then we have Mythical Sanctuary, which is going to be the ability you cannot W cast. It's going to be the cover. So anything that's like a cover, they don't want you W casting it or triple casting it. It's just too good. It's amazing. So available on turn 1, it has a 6-turn cooldown, and this ability is only going to last for 3 turns. So there is going to be some downtime between this, and you'll have to use the other worse off cover right here, Magical Refuge, okay? So you're going to get the cover going on. You're going to mitigate magic damage taken 50% for everybody. So it's up 25% from what Sylvie can do and what he can do on his normal thing. So he's going to get 50% magic damage taken mitigation on everyone. Then also put a MP refresh on everybody, okay? So you want to cast this pretty much on cooldown. Obviously, if you're taking a magic cover tank, this is going to be great. Not only are you covering, but now you're getting magic mitigation 50% along with an MP refresh. That's stellar. That's amazing. He does have elemental cover available in turn 1, 5-turn cooldown. Magic mitigation 75% mitigation there for everybody for 1 turn. So this is going to be when you know that boss is about to just berserk you down with some big magic AoE. You can cast this and take 75% mitigation there, so you live through it a little bit better. Increase fire, lightning, and dark resist by 100% for 3 turns to all allies. So this is another ability you can cast. 100% is a lot of resistances to get on a cooldown ability here, and you know, again, that's what I'm saying. It's like Sylvie mixed with a tank. They come together, CG Charlotte, and they just have a good old baby, and that's Lucas, which is absolutely insane to me. Augmented control, available on turn 3, so you have to wait till turn 3, and it's a 3-turn cooldown. Increases your own spirit by 200%, increases modifiers on some of your abilities, and then enables triple machine. Wait. Triple cast. We're going to go down here and turn that bad boy on. Well, I actually just turned it off, turn it back on. That's right. You can have triple cast after turn 3, where you can start triple casting a lot of this stuff. If you cast this cooldown ability, is available turn 3, 3-turn cooldown, and you get triple cast for 3 turns. So after turn 3, triple cast should always be up if you have the ability to be able to cast augmented control. And if you look, it can be W casted. So when it comes time to cast that, you can be doing some more of your other, you know, supporty abilities with it. I cannot believe how good this unit is. It's breaking my mind here. Try Elemental Gift, available turn 1 for 5 turns. When you cast this ability, you unlock Gift of Fire, Gift of Ice, Gift of Wind. Now, these abilities are more, if you look down here, they add the element to everybody on your team for 1 turn, and they take the enemy's resistances down by 120% for 1 turn. This is like when you really want to push a threshold, you really want to push that damage. If, like, let's say your Reigns go down, your King Reigns go down, King Reign at this point, goes down, and you want to put the fire element on him, and you want to take 120% to the boss in peril and do massive damage that turn, maybe with those LBs, or you get dispelled. Maybe your whole team gets dispelled. That's happening a lot more. This is an ability that you can use. Problem is, though, if your whole team gets dispelled, they're not going to be activated, right? So it's a little bit of a that's one of the misses, I think, on this unit is that ability, but it's there if you need to. Now, we do have our big ability we can only use once per battle. Increase all elemental resist by 120% to all allies. Mitigate magic damage taken 90%. We're almost mitigating all magic damage taken. Again, you're going to hit this if a boss comes out where you're about to beat it, but you know you're just past all those thresholds. This boss is about to rain fire, ice, water, wind, dark, earth, light all those elements on you, 120% resist to them, and then if there is some non-elemental magic damage coming your way, mitigate magic damage taken 90%. An absolute great. I know it's only for one turn, and that's where I critique it a little bit, but it's absolutely insane to have that in your back pocket along with all the other things that this unit has. Moving through the other passives this unit has, chance of being targeted 50%. Now, it's not the 80%, but we do have 50% here. Resist the Confuse, Petrify, so we just need to get the one more of those great things in there. But, again, when you're building these units, you probably have 100% to resist somewhere, like a ribbon or, somewhere in that list there, you're going to have something. Although, if the unit was just resist everything, how much amazing would that be? We do get increased LB gauge to return, and this LB is going to be outstanding as well. We haven't even talked about the LB. Going to be great. We do have some countering chances here for physical and magical, which we'll take a look at what that does. We do get some added benefits if we have a light shield or a heavy shield, as long as you have a shield on, which you will, because it is a tank. You'll like that quite a bit. We have the Guts ability that's 100%. Yes. We get some increased wind resistance by 50%. And then we get 200% defense and spirit buff when your HP drops below 50%. So the Guts ability is so important in this game. I have seen it time and time again save my butt. And it's great to see here on this already extraordinary tank. Autocast Arbitrary Barricade, which we'll see what that is in a minute. This is the TMR, STMR. So if you have that TMR on, that STMR on, you're going to get this going on. Increased spirit by 40%, increased counter chance, 100% upgrades the LB, and you really want that LB upgraded. So you're probably going to end up using that TMR on Lucas, because I don't think a lot of people are going for the STMR, but maybe you get lucky enough to get that. As we move down, increase all resist to all elements, 20%. Okay, so like coming out of the gates, right? Because I remember Charlotte and them talking about this, and now you see it in action. Once you get to 120, this unit, magic cover tank that you need a lot of elemental coverage on, comes out of the box, all elemental resist by 20%. Absolutely insane. Then increases all elemental resist to 50% for 3 turns. If they go down to below 50% HP, guess what? Innately 50% is going up for 3 turns. You're just 50% more resist to all elements. Excuse me, and then that counter rate that was 40% is up to 80%. No, it's damage missing. This is a whole different kind of countering thing. So this guy's gonna be countering with so much stuff. Let's go read what this countering stuff does. So it looks like we're gonna do magic damage. And we're gonna do a little bit that's based, it looks like it's based off spirit scaling. So we are gonna be able to do a little bit of damage because we are building a lot of spirit on this unit. And then increases spirit or defense, depending on which one you proc, by 150%. So we're gonna have a lot of buffs on this unit. Through the casting of what this unit can do, along with these counters, you're going to be able to do that. Arbitrary Barricade, increase defense and spirit 100% to self. This is what we get at the start of battle. Negate 1 physical attack for 3 turns the caster. So, I guess at the start of battle, if a physical attack's coming in, it is a spirit magic covered tank. We're just going to negate one of those physical attacks just in case we need to do that. We already talked about the triple casting that we have. We've already talked about the 3 gifts. Damage miscalculation, which comes from the 120 skill. Magic damage, 3 times the spirit scaling to all enemies. Increase LB gauge 2 to 5 to caster. This is huge because the LB costs a crap ton. So you want this to be proccing as many times as you can get this little bad boy to proc. Max 3 a turn. This is going to help you guys get to this LB. So let's go look at this LB. 54 LB crystals. That's going to be tough, right? However, we do have ways of getting that LB up, especially in this form right here. If you could proc 5, 5, 5, that's 15 right there once you take all that damage. And you should be, again, we have a counter chance going up 100%. Just make sure you have that TMR on. Okay, listen to this. Mitigate damage taken 50% for 4 turns to all allies. So there's your normal mitigation. So we have the physical, we have the magical in a lot of different ways, and now we have the general mitigation 50% to all allies. Negate 2 physical attacks for 4 turns to all allies. Here's your Mirage. Here's your ability. So many times you got to take a random ally in, some kind of Fenrir, for example, to be able to make it through some of these things. Well, your tank is going to do that now for you, along with these other great things. Recover MP 200 to all allies. Are you out of this world? And then the LB upgrade is remove all debuffs from yourself and cure all status ailments from yourself. So that's just going to be the added benefit if you have that TMR or STMR on. So in the end, I mean, this is good, but it's not necessary. This is where it really stands. The upgraded part of it is okay, and will work out for you in the end. But holy smack, dude, this is absolutely insane. On top of all the other stuff this unit can do, I'm just going to say it, and you guys know I don't say this lightly. Lucas is better than CG Charlotte. It's just going to be better than CG Saber. I hate to say it because, I love Saber. She's my favorite. Like, Charlotte. I say Saber. I love Sacred Shield Charlotte. She's amazing. She's my favorite. But Lucas it's that good. It's just that good. It's like a Sylvie, and like I said, a CG Charlotte made a baby, and Lucas came out. They worked on him in the shop. A great Christmas miracle for all. So if you're looking for a magic cover tank, this one right here is going to blow things up. Not to be outshined by Lucas, we have Levinson, and Levinson is going to be that Christmas unit, has that flair, it definitely looks like a Christmas unit, so good job on that, Gumi and Square Enix. It looks like a little Christmas elf kind of mixed with Final Fantasy, Santa Claus. I love the look of Levinson and can't wait to see the animations in game. Levinson's going to be your top damage dealer in global right now, hybrid-wise, competing with all the top mages and even the top physical damage dealers, and that's, you know, where you really want to be, because top physical damage dealers have been the top dogs forever, and they will continue to be in this game. We have a plethora of different chaining families, and looking at the TMR and STMR, they're both pretty good. As I said, the STMR is a little bit questionable because of the weapon sight, but Mistletoe Clip, awesome. We have attack 40, magic 40, and we get a bunch of different resistances to these elements. Now, is it the best in slot for these hybrid damage dealers, or even attack or magic damage dealers? No, that's going to be like in Charlotte's STMR, and I'm saying STMR is compared to a TMR. This is a limited time unit, so maybe that'll be what you want. But think about this. All the time you have to sacrifice maybe a materia slot, an accessory slot, a chest piece, to get these elemental resist up when we come into these fights to make sure you can survive. This right here is the sweet spot in the middle. You get that high attack, high magic stat on a headpiece, along with those elemental resists you may be looking for. And they're pretty high elemental resist, in my opinion, for a hat piece. So I think it's amazing. Like, I would be trying to get one of these. I want one of these in my pocket. I know I said I wasn't going to be summoning on this banner, but after looking at these units, looking at these TMRs, these STMRs, I don't want to miss out. So we're definitely doing that tonight. And then his STMR is Bago Toys. Here's the thing that's going to be rough about this, guys. This STMR is amazing. Attack 150, Magic 140. Might and Marry is a passive that gives you 50% to both Attack True Double Hand and Magic True Double Hand, and then it's a two-handed weapon, so you get that damage variance. That sounds awesome. That's amazing. It's stellar, but it is a mace. So when you're not using it on Levinson, or in the future, when you go to use this STMR, the unit has to be able to use a mace. And a mace isn't as common as the sword, the great sword, you know, dagger. Those weapon types are almost on everyone, whereas mace could be hit or miss depending on where you are. So that's why I take this STMR down a little bit. If it had been a sword or a great sword, good God mighty, we would have been fucking popping off. But, you know, as it being a mace, we have to take a step back a little bit and make sure the units we want to use now and in the future can use a mace to get advantage of it. But other than that, amazing, amazing. Talking about Levinson in a whole, what makes him different? Why should I pull from Claic? What's going on? Well, like Elena, can cover a ton of different elements that can come in handy greatly. We have fire, ice, earth, and wind that he can imbue. He also has the support ability to buff up everybody's resistances to these elements. So he also has support tech to him. So not only is he a damage dealer that covers all these elements, so that's one of the reasons why Elena was great, we also have the ability to support a little bit with those elemental resist and make sure we can live through certain fights. And that is done all inside of his kit. Also a great thing about Levinson is, as long as you have his TMR or STMR on through this passive, you get Turbo Slay, which is triple cast. So you're just going to keep triple cast on for the whole fight, and everything you see here can be triple cast if need be. Another thing about Levinson that's a little bit different, has the ability to entrust. Use own LB gauge to fill allies' gauge. Now, I know in a lot of scenarios you're like, hey, you can't even triple cast or W cast this, Claic. You got to take a turn off from doing damage. Well, sometimes you're okay with that. If you want to put it on somebody like Lucas, CG Charlotte, Sylvie, Myra, you know, anybody, maybe Aerith, you know, these people that you want to put the AoE revive up, this could be your option because you really only want to use Levinson's LB like once per, you know, damage rotation. As in, like, well, actually once per life, because he gets at those modifiers. And other than that, he just wants to be chaining his big chaining ability, which is going to be the Bag of Toys Toy Army. Hybrid damage 31 times to all enemies and bolting strike. So I know he has all these different kinds of chaining families that he can get into and use, and, you know, that's great if he needs to chain with somebody that's not Levinson. When it's time to do damage, he's going to be a bolting strike family chainer, so just keep that in mind when you're looking over him. His cooldown abilities, which he has 2 of, and then he also has his big Magnus ability here at the end we'll look at. He has the ability where he's going to buff his attack and magic up by 250%, so a lot of units have that. Along with putting up everybody's LB gauge fill rate by 200%, so that's a little bit more of that support for the rest of your squad, and then putting up modifiers on his damage dealing abilities. Again, we want Bag O Toys to be up as much as possible. The toy army, so that's where we really want to be when you get all those modifiers up on all the different abilities. Checking it twice is another thing you're going to cast on turn 1. So you're going to go packed with presence, checking it twice. They are available on turn 1 with a 5-turn cooldown. Decrease fire and ice resist 100% for 5 turns to all enemies. So you're really going to be looking at fire and ice here for the most part with checking it twice, because that's where the imperil is going to be. Increase fire, ice, wind, and earth resist by 70% to himself. So he's going to have a lot of those elements buffed up on himself. And it gives us access to reveal naughty list and reveal nice list, which we already are going to be using. Now, when we look at his Magnus ability, his big one-time per use ability, putting up ice and wind resist 100% for 2 turns to all allies, increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 200% for all allies, and giving you snowball fight. I have to be honest, this is a great support thing that can be triple casted in, and if you need it, great, hit that button and get ready to have this going on. But I think snowball fight, I think this damage, it's not a damage dealing ability. On a damage dealer, it's a little bit lackluster for me on the Magnus abilities, and honestly, a lot of these Magnus abilities are disappointing me just a bit, since you can only use them 1 time per battle. I was hoping it'd be something a little bit different. At least it's 2 turns to all allies instead of 1 turn, but, and we'll look at Snowball Fight here in a second. Moving on down through his different kinds of passives, Sleep, Paralyze, Confuse, Petrify, 100%, that's it. That's what you want. That's it. We're good to go there. We do get, now this is something a lot of people were talking about, probably going to have a mace-like affinity, right? Like, because of the mace STMR. He does. However, it's only 20% to attack and magic. Now, you know, I'm saying only, it's always great to have that, but if you want to use that sword, you know, like Daybreaker, or you want to use some of the other items that you have, don't feel too bad if you end up not getting Levinson's STMR. You don't have to have a mace on him. You can just use this and be fine. Looking at his TMR equipping ability, we do get increased attack and magic 50%, and then we get defense, spirit, and HP 30%, upgrades the LB, which we'll look at in a minute, enables Turbo Slay, which is the biggest thing here, triple cast, you just want to have that on, so you're going to have that mistletoe cap on to be able to get this, and increase equipment attack and magic 50%, we can see that it's here too, so that's 100% here and there. If we look up here, we'd also have you know, physical and magic damage against humans and fairies about 50%. Remember, though, hyper damage dealing units only take physical killers into account. The magic ones are there if we were to use a magic ability with Levinson. Then we have 100% here. So the guy right here is getting 200% attack and magic, true double hand, right in his kit, as long as you have him leveled up to 120, and as long as you have a TMR one for mint condition. On top of that, he gets 100% human and fairy killer innately in his kit. Amazing. So moving on down, we have Festive Spirit. And this is going to be a 25% chance to counter to physical or magic damage. And then it also randomly uses. So you have to counter, and then you get a random use. And that's going to give you guys either HP or MP 10% or both at the lowest thing. So that's nice. You know, if we are going to counter, we get a little bit extra, you know, cocoa in our hot cocoa, I guess. A little bit extra whipped cream. And then we need to talk about Reveal Naughty List and Reveal Nice List, which was brought to us by checking it twice. One of the cooldown abilities we use on turn 1. So Reveal Naughty List is really the big one you guys want to use. Decrease fire and ice resist 120% for 5 turns to all enemies. This is going to give you that better in peril to do even more damage with your units. Increase physical damage against fairies and humans 25% for 5 turns to all allies. So now he's going up to 125% without having anything on to that. And then we also have the magic one as well for our magic damage dealing units, or if Levinson wants to cast magic damage. Reveal Nice List isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's more of a support ability to have on your side pocket if you need it. Fire, ice, wind, and earth resist up 80% to everybody, which is extremely high for a damage dealer to have in the triple casting that we may need. We do have a break here. Decrease attack and magic 74% for 5 turns to all enemies. The problem with this is you can't use it on turn 1, right? You can't use this on turn 1 because you have to unlock it with checking it twice, but it's there just in case later on that you need to use it. And then we have cure all the breaks to all allies as well. So if you get any of those nasty breaks, checking it twice is going to be there to help you with that. Now, here is the snowball fight, and we got that from his Magnus ability, if you guys remember above. I think it's just bad. Ice physical damage 0.1 times to one enemy. Remove all status effects from one enemy. That's like throwing a holy torch. I mean, I just don't, or you know, a finger snap. I don't get this. Inflict paralyze 100% to one enemy. Now, some bosses out there can be 100% paralyzed. Maybe it'll be good, but it just seems cute to me, and I don't know why they're putting cute things on our Magnus ability, which is supposed to be their big draw, their big global change, this awesome Magnus ability that'll save you. It's like, snowball fight, yeah. I just don't get it. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments below. It's just not for me. Next up, we have Toys for Everyone, and we're going to look at the upgraded version. We're going to do more physical damage and magic damage, 30 times to all enemies, magic damage 30 times to all enemies, and we see the little thing here, physical attack with magic damage, so make sure you're aware of that. Recover MP 150% to self, and it increases your modifiers to Bag O Toys, and you can see that it's upgraded because the LB upgraded 20 times, and that's the move we're going to use. So essentially, how do we use, what's the damage rotation? I'll give you guys it really quick. You're going to go with Pact with Presence and checking it twice. Then you're going to go up, and because we use checking it, Pact with Presence, excuse me, we're going to get this changed to Holiday Rush, and it should work like this. You can click them all, Be Merry last, and then Be Merry should trigger into this. Increase LB gauge 50 to caster. If we look down at the LB, it's 50, so that's how it's supposed to work. And remember, we got triple cast from his TMR ability. We're going to cast his LB this one time, and maybe you can cast it again if you want to do the damage and get that MP back, but we're really here for this big modifier increase, which is great. the next turn, remember, we have triple cast. We're going to go reveal Naughty List because we want to get that big 120% imperil to all enemies, and then you can also get that physical damage up to fairies and humans if you're fighting one of them. That's great to have on the side as well. Then we're going to pick which element we're going to do, and I think you guys want to pick fire or ice because we do have that giant imperil to fire and ice 120%. So you're going to pick one of these to put on your person. So we're going to say ornament snow globe because let's say we want to do ice damage, and then you're just going to bag of toys, toy army over and over and over and over again until these cooldowns come back up and you have to recast them, and then you have to cast Naughty List for the imperil. Other than that, that's how he works, man. You get in there, you set it all up, and then just pop off really a lot. You don't have to use that LB, and then in cases that you need to, you can use that LB and trust here because he has it in his back pocket where he doesn't need to cast it. Overall, Levinson really blew my mind with what he can do, and the damage they gave him. I didn't think they'd give him so much damage in his kit. So it seems like a super fun unit. The only drawback is, again, limited time unit. Are we going to see a lot of Levinson on our friend list? Now, I do know Bolting Strike's what he likes to do, but again, if you don't have another Levinson, it's not going to be as great as it would be if you did. That's just how it is when you pair two units. Even if they have the same chaining family, it won't be as good. So that's really the holdback for Levinson. Other than that, I love the unit. All right, guys, so what do I think overall about this banner? Well, first off, I think it's amazing. I think you get a high damage dealing, hybrid damage dealing unit. I said damage a lot there, which is great. And Lucas is by far the best magic cover tank, in my opinion, in the game right now with all the support that Lucas brings. And you guys know that I'm saying this from the heart because I do not like Lucas's design. I do not like Lucas as a unit, looking at the unit. So when I say this stuff, it really, and when I say it's better, he's better than CG Charlotte, that's a lot coming from me. If we look at Holy Knight, Amelia, and Amelia, they're going to come out in a bundle. Apparently, you can buy later on, 23rd, I think. They're really there as a cutesy thing. They really should have just given them to us. Not very high damage dealing. They're really there for having fun and looking at them and looking at their animation. So I'm hoping the bundle is really great and they're just thrown in for funsies because it's really, they really should just put them in the event somehow to give them to us for free because they're not anything stellar, and they really, a lot of free-to-play players or new play players that are coming in could really use her as damage dealing. As far as the banner is concerned, remember, we're still in that weird banner where it's like 2 steps and you keep going through. This banner is much better than other banners used to be. Those past two, the Black Friday and then the Noctis, way better than Noctis. Because at 25k, you get one of these randomly. They are not going to have their prisms go into the shop, guys, because of because they're limited time units. So that's going to be the drawback there. But if you really want an upgrade to a magic cover tank or you don't have one yet, Lucas is going to be great and Levinson's going to be there to back him up with damage. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below how you feel about Lucas and Levinson, if you like him as much as I do. Subscribe for future content. Catch me on my Twitch channel tonight, twitch.tv/Claic Yuzolt, as we're going to be going for them. I don't know how hard, but we will be pulling for them because those crystal bundles are awesome. Crystal bundles. Christmas bundles are awesome, and we'll be doing a review on those tomorrow. And then I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great Christmas and a happy holidays.